I'm scared. Freaking lobby. A new type of product every single. I've been avoiding this for a while now. So last time, this is where I left you guys off on my little cake manufacturing situation. We will finish this because I've come too far to not finish this. I also got back the first samples of the plush keychains I was working on. I'll flash really quickly what the file looked like when I was working on it. But this is what I got back in return, and low-key, when I saw the sandwiches, they don't look the way that I wanted them to look. It's really interesting that they took into their own initiative to make it like an interactive keychain. So these are supposed to be like little Velcro sections. The dog one turned out a bit better, but yeah. Okay. Hi. So I wanted to make a quick PSA that all the products that you see in this video are now live in my shop. I just reopened it, and so if you would like to go snag any of these three, they are there. I think I still have some B grades of my cake, and don't worry if you're trying to get a B grade, because I will have more in the future. I just have not opened more boxes to quality check yet. But yeah, you can go to applecheeks.art to grab some, or like go to the link. I'll have the link to my shop down there too. Okay. Enjoy the rest of the video. I'm finally done with the edits. I have been sitting on this for so long, working at it a little at a time every single day, and it's finally done. I'm hoping with all of these comments and updates that the cake will start to look more like something that I would be proud of selling. I feel like with this new upgrade, it feels a lot more like me and a lot more fun and colorful, and let me just show you. I really quickly just like did some notes on the before and after. I put them side by side this time so that the manufacturer can kind of see more clearly what it is I'm trying to fix. But I pretty much made the strawberry into a little character, because before I actually had the characters right here, which I felt like it didn't really, it was kind of like a half-assed way of showing my characters, and I didn't really like it. So I made a character on the top sitting right there, and I just ended up making the strawberries down here into a simple, more graphic pattern so that it reads better from a distance. I also decided to change the pearls into like felt cutouts of these little like sprinkles. And another thing that a lot of my friends realized was that the zipper kind of looked too heavy. So I kind of still liked the chocolate brown because it looks like chocolate, but I just kind of edited the photo so that it looks a little thinner. This was the other page. I just wanted to get rid of that seam right there. So now I can show you like the file. I made changes to it as well. It's more clear here, I guess, like with the little character sitting on top. I also changed the little sprinkles here. I also added the vector version of the face on the strawberry so that they can use it for the embroidery. And just in case, I put the legs there, and then the sprinkles as well, so they can use that to cut out the shapes. And this is the biggest change, I think, for the cake, was changing the green plate into this doily, because the green plate just wasn't doing it. It just felt kind of weird and like out of place, and I was trying to figure out how I could like make it cuter. And I started looking up like lace doilies that I saw on Pinterest. There were some people putting cakes on them, and I thought it was really cute. And that's the file. I also changed the reference photos a little bit to show kind of like the vibe I want for the new cake. Hello. It's been probably a few weeks to even like more than a month since I've worked on this. I'll be honest, I have not been chasing this project as much as I would like to, so I think things have kind of dragged out a bit. Also, a tip in this situation, if you are more on top of your game than I am, is to always ask the manufacturer like what dates you can expect to receive the next sample, so that they kind of have a deadline of when to send it to you. If not, like in my case, they kept pushing it back and back and back, and that's also kind of how we ended up here. It was a lack of me chasing and a lack of them keeping me updated, so I had to, like, once I came back from my trip, I started chasing them more and they were producing my sample faster. Since the last time, we've gotten 2 edits for the plushie keychains and 1 edit for the cake. I think we're making better progress. I asked for a different fur type for the dog plushie, and although I think this is pretty cute, it's not really as funky and funny looking as the first sample, which I now, like in hindsight, I really like the curly hair because I feel like it's just so much more funny, and this one looks more like regular. It kind of reminds me of Sully. These are the photos. I don't know why they changed the felt piece into like a pink color, but I had to like remind them that it's more of a beige. And they also made his head rounder. But for the sandwich, it looks so much better. I like it better without like the little printed one and more with like an embroidered finish for the face. But I also just like did not really like this peach tone. I feel like it's pretty meh to me. So after the second revision, we're gonna go to the third revision for these keychains. And this is what they came back with. You know, this guy got a wide stance. This one is not really giving the same feeling as the first one. I don't know what happened, but like this one's kind of weird. So I might just go with the first sample. The backside's kind of cute though. But like, look at the head shape on this guy. Like, what happened? I don't even know. Like, each sample is different and I'm slightly worried about that. The sandwich, perfect, love her, looking great. I think this is probably like the most finalized one out of all of the products. So this one I gave the okay. As for the cake, this is the sample that we got back. And this is the second revision, and like, I'm still like, kind of like about it. I feel like it's like getting there, but I don't know what the issue is that's making me feel like it's not a final product yet. And I think when I have that feeling, I need to listen to it and keep working on it, or else I'm gonna be stuck with a bunch of these and I'm not gonna be happy that I am stuck with a bunch of these. I told the manufacturer to mail them to me. I think I should receive the samples in like a week or so, so I'll be back to unbox the samples then. Happy Wednesday. In my hands, I have a very important box, and I've been stressed about it since I got it yesterday. It's just been sitting on my floor, but I wanted to do a proper unboxing of this. I'm kind of nervous. I feel like depending on how I like it, you know, it'll either take a long time to fix this with the manufacturer, or if I do like it, then we're closer to the launch than I expected. I'm also wondering how they packed it. Oh, okay. I'm scared. I didn't realize they were so big. But I'm gonna start with the dog, and then we're gonna work our way up. Okay, so we have 3 variations for the dog. It's so silly looking. This one's the first sample, which I ended up liking this one the best because I just feel like the shape of it is so funny. But yeah, this is the first keychain for the dog. This little coffee cup. It's cute. It is a little larger than I expected, but I think that's kind of like the charm of it. And then the next variation, I asked to see a different type of fur, and this is how this one looks, which it's cute. And then this is the last sample for the coffee dog. I asked them to make a rounder head, but I don't know, the rounder head just makes it look a little funky. It's not bad, but like, just not what I expected. Okay, next we're gonna do the sandwich keychain. Sample number 1, worst sample. Like when I saw it, I'm just like, what? I don't like this at all. They made it like this like Velcro situation. The next sample was this one, and it looks like instead they glued it together, but then I didn't like how it was still like wobbly like that. And then the last sample, I asked them to like secure it even more. So like it's like kind of like fully stuck together. And then I changed it to a lighter fabric. And I love this one. Okay, let's start off with the first sample. It's a little squashed. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. It looks a million times better in person than on camera. Okay, when the manufacturer sent me photos, I was freaking out every single time because it just did not look like how I expected it to, but it looks pretty good. I just need to fluff it up a bit. I feel like everything's a little lopsided from shipping. Okay, this is the first sample. What the frick? This actually looks good. And this is the sample that I didn't like. Okay, and then this one is the new sample with the new design. I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with the top layer because it's not really like fluffing as much as I thought it would. But this is the second design. And they also gave me a third sample with like a different way of printing the top. On this one, if you can see, it's like a felt little sprinkle situation, and this one's like a printed sprinkle situation. I'm not sure about the strawberry. Look at that guy. He's kind of just sad. It's not bad. I like this one. I do kind of like this one. You can imagine like putting other stuff like little bracelets and necklaces in there. Ah, it's coming to life. Okay, and then imagine the vision of tote purse. Tote purse with doggy guy. I can't see what this looks like right now. Hi, it's a few days later since I received the package. I had a good amount of time to just like sit down and think about it more, and to also write out all the comments on the images that I took. If you're wondering what you're sitting on right now, you're sitting on Mr. Sandwich. Mr. Sandwich's feet are right here. Anyways, let's not get distracted, okay? Let's be serious. We're here for very serious business. We're talking about cake plushies and sandwich plushies. So very briefly, I drew up these plans. My main focus on this page was just like how this was like too wobbly, the pink here is too light, and that this is wrinkly and I want to reinforce it somehow. And on the next page, I wanted to replace the sparkles that were printed with the pearls that were on the first version, just because I like that like depth in materials. I also didn't like the way they attached a strawberry on top, so I referenced back to Honey, which is one of my other plushies that I made a long time ago, and I like the way that they secured the strawberry on the whipped cream. I think it looks cleaner. I'm gonna get rid of the feet. I feel like the feet just don't look good. And then here I wanted to stuff the top with stuffing, and then I wanted them to clean up the edges because if you can't tell, you see how there's like little gaps? I want to see if they can like fix that. Like it's more of like an aesthetic thing, less of a functional thing because it still functions well. And I also am getting rid of the lace. For the doggy, I'm going with version 1. I am pretty happy actually with the way that this one came together, so all I need to change is to make the keychain into the ball chain style. And then on the sandwich one, this one I was also pretty pleased with, but I just wanted to add a few more things to like finalize it. But yeah, I wanted to add like these little embroidered bits on the back. I made a little butthole. My friend told me to make it into like little butt cheeks, but I tried that and it looked kind of too weird, so I just made it a little like asterisk. And I also didn't like how the lettuce was poking out too much, so I wanted them to trim it down a bit. And I want the little loop of the keychain, like this is where the ball chain would go through. I want it to be on the back side of the toast so that it hangs a lot more natural that way. And like if no one wants to hang it on their bag, they can just take the ball chain off and it'll just be a plushie, and then the little loop will be more hidden. And I think that's it. I really hope this last time of revisions is my last hurrah and that we can finally get past the editing stage. I also wanted to brand it somehow, and so I decided to go with the little like sewn in tags. Apple Cheeks logo face. It looks so official with the tag on. This little guy's going back to China. Let me get a good video of it before I part ways with him. They didn't create another sample of this one in China on hand, so I asked them if it's easier for me to just like send this back. Okay, y'all, we have an update. We got a DHL package. I'm hoping that me sending back the little dog helped, because I don't know if I told you when I sent it off, but like shipping back to China for like that small little parcel was like $50. I hope it was worth it. Okay. Wait, okay, we're off to a good start. I think this is it. This is pretty...
So I just made this plushie.
Anyways, okay, I approve of this. This turned out exactly how I wanted. And then the sandwich one. This one looks great. Wait, okay, yeah, this one is also pretty much finalized. They did a really good job with like the attaching of the pieces. So it actually hangs a lot better than before. I think if I had to change anything on this one though, is that like the embroidery color of this and then the little dots on front are different. So I think that's like the only change. But these are finalized. I can approve them now. And time for my biggest headache. You know, this could be it. It's still steamy and warm. So like the construction is a lot better. I feel like this is good. They went with my instructions and filled this top layer, and they were able to do this piece pretty well. So before, if we put it side by side, this guy was like freaking like loppy. Like it was not like really like sturdy, and then I didn't like the way it attached like that, and then I ended up just making it like this. And I'm kind of digging it. I need to think about this first. Okay, anyways, that is the update. So a lot of you in part 1 in the comment section was asking about like how payments work when you're manufacturing. I can walk you through the process of what I just did because I paid like 5 minutes ago. So after confirming that the samples are exactly the way that I want and we're both on the same page of how we want the rest of the products to turn out, I then asked them for like the finalized cost for specific quantities that I'm going to order. So I ended up ordering 500 cakes, I ordered 500 of the sandwich keychain, and I ordered 400 of the dog ones because that was the lowest MOQ that they're gonna give me. And once you look over those costs and you agree with them and you want to move forward, you tell them that and they will draft up an invoice. And in the invoice, aside from those costs, you also sometimes have to pay like the sample fee. There are manufacturers that will waive this. So for mine, because I ordered above like, I think it was like 1,000 pieces MOQ total of stuff from them, they decided to waive half of my sample cost for my cake plushie, but I did have to pay the sample cost for the dog and the sandwich. And also they do have a product testing fee, which is around $350 per item. And before I pay them, I also like to ask them like an estimate for how much shipping will cost, because usually shipping is quite expensive, and they estimated my shipping to be $650, but this number changes. It definitely like fluctuates whenever you decide to purchase the shipping. And I also like to ask for the lead time of manufacturing just so I know when to expect it. So for mine currently, she told me that the estimated date for finishing manufacturing is 45 days. And so then after that, shipping will take however long, maybe like 2 to 4 weeks, depending on what you choose. And after you've confirmed all those things, you have the invoice, you do the payment. So I usually go with wire transfers, and that's what my manufacturer prefers. I feel like it might be different depending on who you work with again. So some people want like an ACH, which is like a faster transfer, and I think it usually doesn't include as many fees. Wire transfers sometimes do include fees, especially if it's international. And because wire transfers require a lot more information, like when you're filling out the form, I always triple check everything. And then the last thing is, after I pay, I do like to send them a screen cap of like proof of payment, just to tell them that I've done it and they can expect it coming in. And yeah, then we wait. We finally have movement. The last time that I heard from my manufacturer was her updating me on my merch being picked up, and then a tracking number for when my merch arrives in the US, and then FedEx will pick it up and then drive it over to me. And so I was pretty much in the dark for the past month or so because it takes around 4-ish to 5 weeks to get to me. So I was actually expecting my merch to get to me mid-December so I could ship them out late December. And right now it's late December. So what ended up happening is that I think the vessel that my products were on arrived in California on the 26th, and then for the next few days there was like no updates really on FedEx or anywhere of any movement on my packages. But today it's December 30th and it updated and it said that they are all coming to me tomorrow. It's a very fast turnaround once it updates, and then so tomorrow I'm gonna be on my feet. If you ever pre-order from me, I know this time is a little bit less structured than the previous times. I feel like in the previous times I was more on schedule with things, and for some reason I thought this pre-order would be the same as it was previously, but I think because it's the holiday season, everyone is rushing to finish things up. People take days off work, things get delayed, and things take a lot longer. I need to take that into account for next time. Thank you if you pre-order from me for all the patience. I was like panicking so much, and every single day I was just like refreshing the tracking number, hoping that I would know when it would come. I know it says today, but I'm pretty sure it's tomorrow. There's no way this is coming today. This time frame has already passed, but it's very close to me. I'm expecting it tomorrow. I literally did not have time to really record anything because I was still getting ready when I heard the FedEx truck pull into our road. It was like a mad rush to quickly get downstairs to tell him that I would rather prefer them in the garage, because in the past they usually just either put it in front of the garage or in front of my door because I wasn't home at the time and I had to like move them into the garage by myself, and that is not fun. He put them on my garage and it's very thoughtful. I gave him a little San Pellegrino because I felt bad. It's a lot of boxes. So we have 14 boxes here. I'm so overwhelmed right now. What am I gonna do next? I think I'm gonna try opening one and just like look inside. Okay, so on the side, this is pretty much all the information that needs to be on the box. And they also put my little logo on it, which I think is really cool. Whenever I work with this manufacturer, they just have like my branding on the outside. But it'll say item, and this one's the plush jewelry organizer. Plush jewelry organizer. I believe over here, this one is dog keychains. Can you see what that one is? Plush jewelry organizer. Okay, where are my sandwiches? Look at them. They're peeping out a little bit. They're ready to come out of the box. Sando keychains and the dog keychains. I'm gonna open the sandwich one first. Oh my God. This is the funniest thing ever. What is this? Oh, extra jewelry box pieces. Look at them! That is so funny. Now, this one is dog keychains. Look at them! Hello, Mr. Guy. This is so cool. Got the little tag, the Apple Cheeks tag. Super cool. I always say that like shop launch day is probably one of the most exciting days, but I do have to counter that now because I feel like the day you receive your merch altogether is one of my other top favorite moments of running a small business. It's just so unmatched, seeing like everything all in one box. This one I'm the most nervous for. Maybe I should not have opened this upside down. Okay, we're gonna try again on one that's not upside down. Look at that. On these ones, I did get a tag made for them, and the tag looks like this. Oh, the tag is so cute. What the heck? Wait, these look amazing. A little bit deflated, but they look amazing. I was joking around the other day with my boyfriend. We were just talking about how I was waiting for my plushies to come in, and we were just joking like, I wonder if they know that like there's just like a bunch of like little sandwiches in that box. We were also joking that they're probably screaming their heads off inside of the box, these little sandwiches, because they've been in there for a whole month and they're probably freaking out. And now that I see them in person, they look like they're freaking out. They're like breathing for the first time in their life. I freaking love these guys, they're so cute. Have you ever seen a bag of dogs in the shape of a box? Because now you have.
Help me, save me. Let me out of here, please. Save me.
Hello. Oh, you're heavy. I am drowning in a sea of cake plushies. I packed up all the pre-orders, so I usually host pre-orders where people can purchase my new products in advance so that it's slightly discounted. It's just a way for me to collect the funds that I need to start manufacturing, because I usually have to put down a big sum of money to get products made, and that's where pre-orders really help me as a small business owner. The first step, we're gonna do quality checking, which is, I think it really depends per business, like whether or not you want or need to do quality checking. But personally for me, I've noticed that there are certain products that need to be checked before I ship them out because there are some flaws on them. And this could range from a bunch of different types of flaws depending on what I'm selling. I usually then separate those out, and then I call those my B grades, which I end up selling for a cheaper amount just so that we're not being wasteful. And also it's for people that want a still very cute and nice product. It's just not A+ perfect grade in my opinion, and that's why I quality check. And to give you a quick tour of what my office is looking like and how I am going to make this process more efficient for myself. So they come in boxes. This shipment, I got 12 cartons so far. And then the rest are like these little plushie keychains that I have right here. This one only took 1 carton to ship, I think 400 of those, and then 2 cartons to ship 500 of these. So what I did is I kept most of these in my garage because there's no space inside for me to just have a bunch. I take them in and then I open up the box. They come in this one big plastic bag because that's what I asked the manufacturer to do. And then I put them right here. And this is my steaming section. So for the past few days, I've just been steaming all these plushies because, you know, some of them still need to be steamed. They come in a little squashed, you know, like the foam right here is sunken in because when it was in the box, it was probably squished against another one, and therefore the foam on the top probably got indented over time. And so the steam just kind of helps it revive itself and stand more upright. So you can see most of these are standing upright. They're a lot more squished when they come straight out of the box. Now that these are steamed, I still need to quality check them to make sure that they are in good shape. And then that's when I move it back to this side and I use these boxes as miniature tables because I don't have enough surface area to put the cakes. These are A grades. These are all the perfect ones. This pile is the B grades, and for some reason I feel like there's a lot more B grades this time around, and so we're gonna have to deal with that. It's okay. I just set up another box for more A grades. The fun part about manufacturing goods is that you have to use your brain a lot to figure out how to do certain things to get the results you want. So for example, I pretty much go into anything small business by experimenting, unless I've done it before, because For me, running a business, every single step of the way can sometimes be the first time I'm doing something, especially if I'm manufacturing a new type of product every single time. For example, with these cake plushies, when they came in and I opened it for the first time, I usually experience at least a whole day's worth of anxiety, freaking out, because they don't come the way that the samples would come. So the samples come like this, all prim and proper, looking perfect, no flaw in sight, just like, I'm a happy cake, right? And then you get the final shipment of plushies in, and they've been sitting in a box for a whole month straight, crushed together, and then they show up kind of like all like facing different directions, and then you just really have to think of how you can remedy it so that you can get these shipped out as soon as possible to your customers. In the past, it's been okay to just like massage my plushies to get them back into the shape that I want them to, but this time around it was a little different. I was like massaging, nothing seemed to be like happening. I didn't know what to do. And so I remembered one time I bought Persimmon, my cat, a cat bed for the car so that we can drive on the car and go to places. That one came with a sheet of foam, except I'm pretty sure that sheet of foam had been in like a vacuum sealed bag for probably months. It's just been flattened so thin that I left it there for like a day or more and it was still the same thinness. And so I remembered searching up, how can I make a flat sheet of foam come back to life? And one of the solutions at the time was a steamer. I didn't have a steamer at the time, so I literally just like threw the whole thing in water, squeezed out all the water, and then just let it sit there, and then eventually it puffed up straight away. But obviously I couldn't do that with these, and I remember this time around, I was like, wait a moment, I can totally just steam them and then the foam should just like come back to its original shape. And long story short, that is how I found the solution to my problem. It's worked really well, and my housemate had a steamer that I could borrow, so it all worked out so well. So the more experiences you have in life, the more it will help you in business, and that is the lesson. The way that I quality check these plushies in specific is I just like look through everything in a very speedy manner, but still like detailed enough to catch any mistakes. But like I just give it like a quick scan through to see if there's like, I don't know, anything that is wrong with it. Also for the zippers, sometimes it gets a little caught, and then I'll check and there's like a little piece of like hot glue like right here, and I just pick the hot glue off. I make sure that all the pearls are on there and that there's no like little stray hot glue marks. Sometimes I like to massage this guy up here if he looks a little wonky. And yeah, overall, just give it a look. It looks great. This is an A. And then I go over here. And I put it down just like that. And then I will repeat it on everything on this desk that needs to be graded. On this one, there's like a little piece of like brown thread that's stuck to the glue right there. This isn't considered a B grade until I can't fix this issue, so I'm just gonna put it over there and solve it later. Like this, you can see there's a little piece of glue right here. And it's just like, it's not that they glued it shut, it's more of like an accidental bit of glue. So in front of me, these are all the B grades that I've picked out within the first like 3 boxes that I opened. So very common ones, I don't know if you can see that, but like the glue got onto the fabric a lot, and so it's just like a little tiny thing of glue that I can't get off, and it just doesn't look as pretty. And I feel like that's most of the B grades, are the ones that have glue in places that aren't supposed to have glue on them. This one right here, one of the pearls fell off, and usually in this case I would just like attach it back on myself, but I couldn't find the missing pearl. I think there are other ones where there's like weird markings on it. Once you finish grading all of your plushies, or at least like looking over all of them, and you pick out the ones that you kind of see faults in, what I personally like to do is take photos of all the bits that are kind of messed up and then reach out to my manufacturer and ask them if I can get a discount or reimburse for the ones that aren't up to quality. Some manufacturers are more lenient on this and they will reimburse you, but I've heard that other ones won't, because it's just like an expected thing that will happen when you like mass manufacture so many products, is that there will be mistakes and it's just part of whatever you pay for. But luckily for me, my manufacturer in the past has reimbursed me for the ones that are B grades because they don't want to make a new batch. Like if they were only to make, let's say there's like 16 on the table of B grades, if they were to remake that, it would take them more effort to. From my understanding, they would rather reimburse you for the ones that went wrong than to totally remake them. But yeah, that is pretty much my entire process. Part 2 of how I manufacture my plushies and like go through the whole manufacturing thing. I hope this was educational, or at least gives you a little bit more insight into like what I do other than pack and ship orders. I think I started March of 2024, so it took me almost an entire year to complete these projects. And I would say usually it doesn't take this long, but because I do a lot of other things, like my full energy wasn't dedicated to making these, so it did drag on a little longer. But I would say if like you were actively chasing and being on top of your game with manufacturing, it probably maximum will take like half a year. If things went well, like really well, maybe like 3 months. But I would say it would be more for like simpler products. If you're expecting to make something that is like pretty new and like the manufacturer hasn't made before, it'll probably take a lot longer for them to figure out the pattern and stuff of making them. So like for example, they've never made a cake jewelry box, so they have to like design it from scratch, versus like if it's just like a simple plushie, this they were able to get done really fast. If you do have more questions about manufacturing, you can ask me in the comments, or just like any thoughts you have, any tips you have. Maybe you've done some manufacturing and have better tips. This is just like all my experience and stuff I've learned and the way that I do things. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Bye. It's not big enough to cover the whole thing. Wait.